And education does not happen only in schools, right? We're all educators. Whoever is with a child is an educator, because a child is watching you and wants to imitate you. In 7 to 14 years, there will be a change. They will no longer be looking at the teacher. My teacher is so beautiful, I will listen to her. I have to please my teacher. No. Who are you? What gave you the authority? How do you know? Why should I listen to you? These are healthy questions. As teachers, do not hate those difficult children. They are developing in the most healthy way, and embrace that. Just celebrate that, because you've done the right things, because they're doing the right things at the right age. It's a very important development that there's defiance. There is your meeting with an individual that's not saying yes to everything. And the fights, the anger, they're all to be welcomed. But what do we do with that? That is the age when we get children to be involved in a project, a socially useful project where they can channelize their overactive minds and bodies into constructive activity. And it will be challenging for them, and they will understand their own deficiencies. They need to understand. If you point it out to them, they don't like it. But when they realize their own, it's a beautiful time to get the class together, to look at each other and come out with, this is my problem, and my own classmates will give me solutions. But if I have fear of telling my problem, it's very dangerous. I will hide, I will lie, I will try to project myself as very perfect. And what will I do? I will go into the wrong path. Most children who get into bad habits, it's around this age, and it's very important to accept their deficiency. It's very important to accept that they can't do something, that they have failed somewhere. If that kind of trust needs to be built between the adult who's handling the child, who is close proximity. It could be a grandmother, it could be a peer, maybe a father's friend, mother's friend, or the parents itself. It's the time when you need to get them really close. Yes, there will be fights, there will be angers, there will be outbursts, but please remember that this is the time. If you don't, if you break them, there need to be rules. You need to be firm. And a lot of times I tell my parents, you yourself fail, like show them that you have failed, and you can set rules and consciously fail and face the punishment, because they should know that we are equals, and it is okay to say I failed, to honestly say I failed. There's no shame in failing, but there is shame in hiding. When you hide, there is shame. But when you say, yes, I have failed, help me, it's perfect. There's scope for growth. There's scope for not failing and succeeding later. So please set rules at this time. 7 to 14 years is the best time to inculcate habits, to set rules, but you are bound by that rule. And believe me, fail, you win ultimately. Sometimes you have to lose a battle to win the war, or was it the other way around? I don't know. So you have to lose something to gain something. So fall in front of your children, but get up and show them, yes, after falling down, after failing, I'm succeeding. And it's also good for parents to also learn something at that time which is challenging, to show them how I started from scratch and I'm learning. And it's a beautiful time which will be filled with pain. Be prepared. it will be filled with pain, but there's no gain without pain. My own life was, if I look at it one way, miserable at that time, because my children shook the insides of me. My core values were all questioned, and at one point I said, yes, what I believed so many years is actually nonsense. And some beliefs, I said, I'm holding on to them, yes, and they also came. You come midway, but it's a churning time, and it's beautiful if you understand that growth is the only way forward, change is the only way forward towards growth. uh, yes. And then 14 to 21 is when actually the intellect as a separate faculty comes into play. Till now, the will was, nudging the thinking. Later, the feeling is nudging the thinking. And then thinking on its own, what we call objective thinking. Objectivity is a word that I love. And if we have more and more objectivity, the world will be a better place. Today, all the evils that you see, because I'm so colored by my point of view, or I'm brainwashed by somebody, if I have my own individual thinking, what a healthy being I will be, and what a healthy asset I would be to this society. If I can think for myself and do what is right at that time. It's so important to cherish this thinking. It is so precious that it has to come slowly. It should not be preempted. If I start thinking, very early, then I actually preempt that thinking. It can be somebody else's thinking forced on me. If I have to have my own free thinking, I have to wait slowly in these developmental ages. I really think that an education that follows these stages can be so powerful. And education does not happen only in schools, right? We're all educators. Whoever is with a child is an educator, because a child is watching you and wants to imitate you. It does not just want to imitate you, it automatically imitates you, whether it's your body mannerism, your dressing style, the way you think, the way you treat others. All this is being observed by children, and we need to be worthy of that emulation. We always think that it is the brain that learns. The body is the foundation, and it is on which the superstructure is built. Eye tracking is a very small thing. I just want you all to hold a pencil or pen that you have in hand. If you don't, just hold your finger, hold it like this, move to your left, follow the finger, move to your right. Can you see this? And then move it forward and backward, and move it in circles, all the time looking at the finger. Okay, and you just move it forward and backward. Some of you are moving your faces. Some of you are able to move only your eyeballs, right? I can see that. So not an issue. I'm not here to judge, but just to show that the simple act of the ability of the eye to track can make a whole lot of difference in the way I look at the blackboard. Just eye tracking. If I have a problem with tracking of the eye, I can hit my neighbor who is sitting next to me. I can get irritated. I can get neck pain. I can get shoulder pain, which will in turn make me aggressive or make me hate studies. It's a very small thing. No, it's a very big thing. Yeah. So before the children are ready to track, before the children are physiologically, not every child can track. As a baby, children's eyes will be everywhere. Before they're ready, we give them a pencil and paper to write. We give them a blackboard with alphabets, read. How cruel is this? We are creating learning disability. They're coming very beautifully. All children are born dyslexic. They will wear ulta shoes. And that's the way it should be. There's a spiritual reason, which I will not go into now. But there is a reason why we look at things in an opposite way. But if we straighten them out before they can actually physically straighten, you're preempting something. You're interfering in their development. Likewise, there is something called crossing of the brain. We all have two sides of the brain, which there's so much material on the net about left and right. So crossing of the brain. You've seen small children climb stairs. They will put one leg, then the next feet will go there. The same leg will go up, they'll put. Because the brain hasn't crossed. They can't do this alternate movements. They have to go one like this. So if this does not happen beyond 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, and definitely by the time they are 7, it should have crossed. If it does not, then we need therapy. Not that the brain is a problem, the body is a problem. There is something that has not happened in the body. They are intelligent children, mind you, they're very intelligent, maybe, or maybe average intelligence, but they're not abnormal. The body has a block. There is a problem with the body. If we deal with that, they will be fine. They'll be as fine as anybody can be. And muscle tone. If my neck muscles, cesarean babies. Did you know that during natural birth, the kind of exercise the neck gets, never in your lifetime you will get. This is not to say that cesarean births are wrong. We have to save the life of the baby. That's the most important thing. But it means that my neck has not got something which naturally it should have got. I have to work on it. I have to work on strengthening the neck muscle. It is through the neck that all the nerves go to the brain. Muscle tone is not a small matter. It's an important thing that leads to neurological development. That is why the milestones are so important. Sensory integration. Somebody said earlier in the talk that the 5 senses are so important. Absolutely important. There's a difference between hearing and listening. Do you agree? A lot of us hear a lot of things, but do we listen? In class, teachers who are here will be, they will be very familiar with this. Listening is more than 3/4 of the problem. If everybody can listen, they can memorize, they can concentrate, they can focus. Listening is deep, exactly. So listening is very deep. Hearing is shallow. Likewise, I see so many things, but what am I looking at? What am I watching? There's a difference. So, and is the smell so overpowering that I can't concentrate on anything else? There's understimulation and there is overstimulation. Is the perfume of my teacher, is it so overpowering? Is my sense of smell like that I get completely distracted? It can happen. Children with autism, they can get completely distracted with a smell. It could be a smell, it could be a color, it could be something, but understimulation, overstimulation, very important again to protect your newborns, to protect your 0 to 7 years from overstimulation. Also, don't understimulate. They need to hear the right kind of music, the right kind of things. That's a big topic on its own. What is right at that age? What kind of music is right? We will, just being aware will let you to explore and question. Reflexes. We all need reflexes, and certain reflexes, infant reflexes, have to go away. This is a big study. It's called retained reflexes. When you retain certain infant reflexes, it can hamper your studies. Why I'm mentioning all this is, studies is not just here. Learning is not just here. It is holistic, the whole body. The most important thing, vestibular system. That's why I have the picture here. If you can see that spiral structure, that's our inner ear, the cochlea. It is adjacent to our vestibular, the 3 semicircular canals that you can see, the 3 semicircular canals, those are in charge of our balance. You've all heard of this vrikshasana in yoga, standing on one leg, that yogis do to reach high states of enlightenment. This inner ear is, as I said, adjacent to this vestibular. So the act of listening, the sense of listening is directly connected to our sense of balance, physical balance. So when I don't have physical balance, I don't have mental balance. I don't have the capacity to concentrate. I do not have the capacity to focus. Also, our feelings. If my physical body, if through my wrong food, I just mess my gut, my digestion, I can start behaving in a very deplorable way. Sugar. Early in the morning, bread and jam. Finished. Teacher will have hell in the class because sugar excites. It gives me a high. I will go hyper. And processed food, certain chemicals, Ajinomoto, we all know, can create havoc in my thinking, feeling, behavior, my action. It can create. And over a period of time, it will weaken my physical body, which is the foundation of my health and my survival. And it's not just survival. There is one thing about I'm alive, but there's one thing about am I functionally alive? I need to be at my best. So food is so important. It is so important. And schools have to pay attention to what the children eat, because we collect a lot of fee from parents, both parents who are working and they don't have the time. We have taken the responsibility to educate the child. Food is also part of education. Soul food and food for the body, both are given by the schools. It's very important to understand what is this food, what is the content, what time are they eating. I eat the best of the foods when the liver has to rest. I'm doing harm. So food is something parents need to pay a lot of attention. You get hyper when the children get low marks. Please get hyper when the children are eating wrong foods. Don't get hyper, but pay attention and do something about it. Yes, that is something that I wanted to mention about food, gut-brain connection, and even our behavior. Our behavior, it's a lot to do with the kind of food we eat. You make a change and then you will see. So what is the role of arts? When we say holistic education, we also have to build good values. We are humane because we are subjective. I like red, you may not like red. I like something else. I like dosa. I have no reason why I like something. I can't explain it objectively. We are very subjective. We are very individual. And it is the arts that train this individuality, this subjectivity. Without art, we'll be mechanistic.